Welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships, Sunday night at 9. I am your host, Coach Glenda, here with my course manager and co-host, Rufus Carpenter. Tonight we have part 2 of last week's topic, which was amazing. Love on the fly, navigating relationships without a plan. Are we intentional or just winging it? Before we dive into our topic tonight, I will allow Mr. Carpenter to tell you a little bit about himself as well as his background.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rufus Carpenter. I come to this space a little different than most. My background started as a little child in a 3-bedroom house with 14 siblings and a mother and a father. So 16 in that that 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. So if you ever had occasion to sleep with 4 of your siblings, you understand, especially if one's a bedwetter, you definitely understand the essence of the human connection. It didn't stop there. Okay, but I was married 27 years. And if you're married 27 years, you know a thing about trust. You know a thing about communication. You learn about fidelity. And you also learn about compromise. These not necessarily things for a great relationship, but these are the things that you need to know for the understanding of a deeper human connection and relationship. My background didn't stop there. I enlisted in the United States Army, and one of my jobs in the Army was human and race relation leader. Well, I had the responsibility of going to different military units, and I would check for anything like race or relationship issues. And if they arise, I'd be the first person on the scene, and I'd do what's called an intake form. And with the intake form, I would decide what level of responsibility or resources we had towards solving that problem. So from that, my background was I came from a diverse environment with a military background as a race and relationship leader. But you know, what I'm here tonight in this container called Sunday Night at 9 to represent the male perspective, because this container was designed to be where 20 of your girlfriends and are in your living room, in one of the living rooms, and you guys all know each other. You're friendly, relaxed. The kids are in bed. You're drinking maybe a few glasses of wine or some tea, whatever your drink preference is. And then you're allowed to talk about relationships. You relax, you know everybody, you trust everybody, and you're talking about relationships. And normally we have a relationship topic we talk about, and we have one this week, matter of fact, part 2 of last week. And even though you have that, if you have any relationship questions or concerns on your mind or heart, you can say it out loud and let the audience be a part of it. And maybe you can share your breakthroughs as well as your challenges, because you don't know the sister beside you. She may be going through some of the same things you're going through, and you've already have a breakthrough and you know the way out. So you can lead her out just by giving your testimony. Because in your mind, you might look at her and say, she's got it all together. She don't have no problems, but you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. She may be dressing her issues up a little bit better than yours. So tonight, please feel free and be a part of this. I can't wait to get started because last week was very interesting. So I want to see what you bring this week. All right, let's get started. Glenda?
All right. Give me a second. We got a few people coming in.
Are you letting them in already? Or I'm letting
them. I did. Okay.
Good. Good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard. We're part 2. Hey, part 2. Part 2. So thank you for everybody's coming on. I really appreciate it. Last week, you did such a beautiful Sharon, you want to say something already? You got the mic if you want to.
No. I was talking with Phyllis and I was trying to tell her to listen in on it, but I didn't realize
Phyllis. Welcome. Listen in, Phyllis, because tonight we have a great topic. The topic tonight is love on the fly, navigating relationships without a plan. Are we intentional or are we just winging it? Last week was a good one, so this week I think will prove to be an even better week. Let's get started.
All right. Now, just a few housekeeping rules before we dive into tonight's contents. We want to mute our devices until we're ready to speak, and as well as let's be respectful and allow everyone to speak their truth and get their comments in. All right, when it comes to love and relationships, many of us, especially women, navigating modern dating, marriage, and long-term commitment, find ourselves wondering, are we truly intentional about the connections we build, or are we just winging it and hoping that it works? Intentionality in relationships doesn't mean having everything figured out from day to day. Instead, it's about clarity, knowing what you want, how you love, and what you're willing to give and receive. But often life, culture, and even the pressure to just make it work push us into relationships without a clear plan or direction. This leaves us questioning, am I building a love that aligns with my values, or am I just accepting what shows up? Are we setting real goals in this relationship, or are we just going with the flow? Is winging it romantic freedom, or does it leave us lost? The truth is, love on the fly can feel exciting without intentionality. It often leads to frustration, unmet needs, or cycles of heartbreak. Being intentional doesn't mean you're rigid or controlling. It means you're showing up with awareness and direction, honoring your needs and the needs of your partner. Mr. Carpenter.
Awesome, awesome. When she was going through that, I was thinking about last week. And last week, one of the things you did last week, Glenda, was very, very, very eye-opening. When you asked everybody to drop in the chat, whether you mapping it out, which means that you have a plan. When you get into a relationship, whether it's the beginning of a relationship or further down the road in a relationship, you have a plan. You have goals, you have desires, and you have vision for the rest for that relationship. And that's a plan, and that's called map. Now, if you don't have a plan and you taking it as a go, that's called winging it. You know, you see somebody you like, you think it's nice, like what's that? Like Charlie Wilson said he was hanging out at the mall and saw Miss Lady coming out of Macy's. He didn't have a plan, but is winging it. So he talked to her, so it was winging it. Sometimes we do that, we wing it, and where it goes. And there's some of us that we don't know whether we've got a plan or we're somewhere in the middle, and we call that working out. So let's try that again, Glenda. How did you tell them put in the chat last week? Let's do that one more time, because I'm like, right. That was interesting.
Okay, so let's put in the chat whether it's your current relationship or one that you're expecting to have, or do you have it mapped out, or are you just winging it?
Let me put mine in. I'm gonna put mine in right quick. Let me put mine in there, because
so the choices are map or winging it. And I think last week you added a third one.
Yep.
Somewhere in between.
Then you call it working on it. So I'm interested to see how many we have. If you have a plan, if you know exactly where you want your relationship going, you have expectations in your relationship, you have vision and goals when you go into a relationship, that's map. If you just taking it by the seat of your heart, as we said last week, we call that winging it. If you don't know what in the hell you're doing, we call that working it out. Let's see what we got. You want to start reading some of them, Glenda? Or okay. You want anybody? Now, look, this week is kind of unique. This week, if you want to share yours out instead of putting it on the chat, you feel free to say that, because last week you guys did an excellent job with bringing the conversation, and we had fun with that. So if you want to explain your answer, let's do it. I'll start it out. I'll explain my answer. And the reason I put wing it, and the reason why I put wing it out, I'm like everybody else. I would see somebody that I think would be interesting, and and I was kind of guy that would watch them. I wouldn't talk to anybody right out the gate. I was kind of shy, so I would look at them, and then eventually I would see something about I like them, and then I would start a conversation and talk. But my plan was just to start a relationship. I didn't get past that. Yes. When she said yes, I was happy she said yes. So I won. That's why I put wing it, because from that point on, hey, the relationship kind of took a life of its own. So I winged it. Anybody want to share the answer? Well, Glenda, what did you put?
I put wing it.
Wait,
I
Sharon.
put wing it.
Sharon did like Glenda. Go ahead, Sharon.
Oh, I put wing it.
Why?
Because I'm not the type to make plans. I'm a go by the seat girl. I'm just gonna go with the flow. When I plan stuff, it never works. I get bored. I get bored.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else want to share? So what do you do, Glenda? What did you put?
The same as last week. I map it out.
Explain why you now. Explain what you mean. Map out. Explain out so we can know.
Well, ever since my divorce, every relationship that I have gotten into thereafter, I always, I made sure that, that we were looking for the same things. It started out with, okay, I think we can go to the next level. But at the end or throughout the course of the relationship, somebody drops the ball and I end up, I guess, winging it afterwards because I'm looking for an exit plan. But I initially start out with a plan. Everything is mapped out. Okay, me and such can go to the next level. And we're just gonna, take it one step at a time.
And anybody else want to comment on why they put map it out, or whether they put wing it on did put working on it on the chat? Okay. All right. If no one, the reason why I asked that, because normally when we do a part two, we always go back and review what we did from the prior week. So that way we kind of caught up and we can move forward with fresh material. And that's why I put it, because last week, the biggest part of last week was actually looking at your relationships, looking at your present relationships and your past relationships. And we looked at relationships, we looked at them to see, did we really have a plan? When we went into those relationships, did we have a vision for the relationship? Did you and this person sit down and say, here's where we want to go, here's what we want to do, here's our plan, let's work towards this goal? Or you just met somebody that you saw, you liked, and you felt that, hey, maybe you guys got a relationship, and you said, let's go ahead and see where this take us. And a lot of us, let's see where this go. And you two, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this because I'm going to say this a little different. When you say when you're younger, when you're first in your teens, 20s, 30, 20, maybe early 20s, and get ready to go into 30s, you can say, okay, let's see where this go. And it makes sense. It really makes sense because you don't know each other. You both have the best intentions in the world. And we talked about the 5 stages of romance. So that makes sense. But when you get into your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and you talking about let's wing it, and I heard somebody say, grown tail people talking about some damn wing it. You better know what you want. You don't have that much time. Life is too short. So that's what a lot of people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s say. You don't have much chance for oops. So you have to be intentional about your relationships, where you want to go. It's no more, well, I'll see you when I see you, or meet me after a while. You're really in a relationship, and it's your choice. We're not telling you what to do or which is the better way, to whether you want some spontaneity and want to wing it, or whether you're somebody that have a great vision for where you want to go. When you're in a relationship, you know exactly what you want to go. I remember somebody told me one time, that this lady told me, she said, Rufus, the last joker I talked to, you know what, I thought he was a nice guy. We went out a couple of dates. And the third date he talked about, like, I want to know your bank account, where how much you make and working all this and this and that. And she said, wait a minute, that's personal. Why you want to know that? He said, because we're dating. He says, I think, man, you could, we could go somewhere. We could do we could have something in life. We could have a great relationship. She said, but what did that mean about you asking me these things? He's because I got all these things and I don't want to hook up with nobody that's going to take me down. She said that was the last time they went out. So it's more sides to this question, whether you're winging it or whether you're mapping it out. So tonight, let's get into the new part. That's a review from last week. Let's get into the new part. Now, last week we did 2 examples. Let's go straight into the example first, Glenda, and then we'll break it down into talking about the particulars of this topic. Okay. What example you want to give us first, Glenda?
Janelle and Darius.
Okay, Janelle and Darius. Okay, let's talk about them.
All right, they are rebuilding with intention. Married for 12 years, Janelle and Darius hit a rough patch. They realized they had been living parallel lives, focusing on careers, kids, and bills, but not on them. Instead of drifting further apart, they began having weekly relationship check-ins to realign their intentions. Their love grew deeper because they stopped winging it. Interesting.
That is awesome. Do it one more time. Do it one more time because there's two parts of this that I want to get into. Can you give us that scenario one more time, please?
Not a problem. We have Janelle and Darius rebuilding with intention. Married for 12 years, Janelle and Darius had a rough patch. They realized they had been living parallel lives, focusing on careers, kids, and bills, but not on them. Instead of drifting further apart, they began having weekly relationship check-ins to realign their intentions. Their love grew deeper because they stopped winging it.
Okay, audience, share your comments on this one, audience. What comes to mind when you listen and you understand this scenario? What comes to mind? Anybody want to share?
I saw her, Sharon.
Go ahead, Sharon. You want to share, Sharon?
No, I didn't. That was Phyllis.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyone want to share on maybe Phyllis might want to share on this one. Maybe she was trying to share. Anyone want to share this one before we weigh in? You want to weigh in first, Glenda? You want me to weigh in first?
You can go ahead, Mr. Carpenter.
Okay. This one is unique because this is the way life really does. We go in with the best plans and the children, time, 12 years. That's an investment. That's time. In that 12 years, and you have kids and you have responsibilities, you have jobs, careers, insurance, mortgages, pets, grandma, grandpa pulling on you, brothers and sisters, you really lose sight of what's important. The relationship, you two. You two are the union that fuel all the rest of the things that happen in that relationship, in that ecosystem called marriage, or whether it's a booed up situation or whatever it is. You're the ones that really matter. So when they realized that their relationship, their connection was fading, they really did something I call something very important. They started doing weekend check-ins. Those weekend check-ins, believe it or not, if you take a night or a day or even a couple of hours to sit down and communicate what's in your heart and what's in your mind with your partner, it makes all the difference in the world. Because the biggest thing you have going for you in a relationship is your communication. I'm going to say your communication techniques or your ability to communicate. Some of us can't communicate open and honestly. Some of us, we got to wait till we get sick and tired. We got to wait till we get upset. We got to wait till we have some issues. We got to wait till we can't take it no more. And then we bust out and communicate. And it's about you did. And it's not really communication. It's kind of like, you kind of like vomiting on a person or just blowing them up. Where really, when something happens, if you can address it right then, or if you have that check-in time, let's say Tuesday night is your check-in time with each other. And something happens maybe on Sunday, you don't get a chance to talk about it because the children are involved and you don't want to say it in front of the children. So when Tuesday comes, you sit down, hey, babe, look, Sunday night, when we were doing Sunday night at 9, I heard you say something that wasn't quite right. It upset me. And it was I couldn't say it then because the children were close or something like that. But let's talk about it now. And here's how I felt. Here's how I internalized this. And when you have that conversation, your mate on the other side can say, yeah, babe, I really didn't mean it that way. And I'm sorry you took it that way. Here's what I was trying to say. But I tell you what, let me figure out how I can say this differently in the future. And that's all it is. And that's what this was, and it gave them a chance to build a connection, which is a great way to look at it. 12 years, think about it. 12 years, you don't want to lose that. And I believe in life more abundantly. Life more abundantly means to me having your peace. Having peace. Peace make a difference. I think Gigi was on the line about 3 or 4 episodes back when she said she's not going to let anything bother her peace. And if you've been married 12 years with kids and you see your connection drifting, your peace is involved with that. Okay. Anybody want more comments on that before we go to the next scenario?
Well, I did put in the chat, Mr. Carpenter, while you were talking that they put it from the scenario that I had read, they put everything before each other. And that's why they started to drift apart. But the weekly check-ins was a great way for them to get back on track. As long as they stay consistent with it, they shouldn't have any further problems.
Awesome. Great analogy. Thank you for sharing that, Glenda. Okay.
Does anybody have any feedback or have any comments on that example?
All right, let's
It
talk.
might have just been self-explanatory.
Let's talk about melody, and then we'll actually open this thing up a little bit more.
Okay, we have Melanie, the free spirit learning balance. The free spirit learning balance. Melanie loves spontaneity and didn't want to overplan her love life, but she kept ending up in relationships where she wasn't valued. After reflection, she realized she could stay free-spirited and intentional, choosing partners who respected her need for independence while also honoring her emotional needs.
Okay, awesome. Do we have any Melodies in the house tonight?
Well, Mr. Carpenter, I got a question. When you
Read it again.
read it again. They want you to read it again.
Okay, no problem. We have Melanie, the free spirit learning balance. Melanie loved spontaneity and didn't want to overplan her love life, but she kept ending up in relationships where she wasn't valued. After reflection, she realized she could stay free-spirited and intentional, choosing partners who respected her need for independence while also honoring her emotional needs. And I guess my question is, Mr. Carpenter, can you give a clear understanding of what free spirit learning balance is?
Easy, very easy, very easy, very easy. Okay. When Melody like a lot of us, we go in relationships. We go in relationships with free spirit. Hey, look, you dig me, I dig you, let's kick it. And in those relationships, she thought she felt that she was going to be a star because she felt she brought some value to those relationships. And each one of those relationships over and over again, she wasn't valued. She went from way up here thinking that she's somebody to feeling cruddy and nobody somewhere in that relationship. She thought being free spirit meaning I don't have plans, I don't have a map, I'm loving who's loving me. I'm bringing the best, I'm showing up the best I can, loving you, and figuring that you're going to do the best thing, you're going to show up the best you can and love me. But it didn't work for her. Over time and time again, several relationships down the road, she realized, I can't keep losing this. I can't keep losing like this. I can't keep getting beat up like this. I can't keep getting takers, and I'm always getting a short end of the stick. I can't always use all of my money, my gas, and my time, and my love, and my body, and not getting anything back. I'm not getting as good as I'm giving. Eventually, she had to cut all these jokers out, and then she realized something. She realized that it's not them. They're not the problem. She's the problem. Allowing herself to be used in relationships because she don't have a plan. She's so free spirit. She don't have a plan that she don't have a plan. They got a plan. Their plan is suck her till she dry. So she said, this isn't working. So she might have got some counseling. She might have came on Sunday night at 9 and listened to Glenda talk. or she might have got some personal counseling, or she might have got some of her girlfriends to help her sort some of this stuff out. So
That's definitely not me. Oh, sorry.
okay, so she wouldn't be. I'll give you a chance in a minute, Sharon. I'm gonna wrap this up. Then now when she go to relationship, she's got a plan. She's got boundaries in place. Not only does she have boundaries for the other person, now she got boundaries for herself. She said, "I will not do this anymore.
Okay.
I'll not let a joker use my car while I'm working and he don't have a job. I'm working, he driving other women around in my car. I'm at work and he come pick me up late. And my car smell like perfume." You know, she has standards. She's not gonna do that anymore. She's not gonna be the one that when they go out, the person can't never have the wallet. She has to pay. Or they always got to come over her house. She can never go over his house. Or she got to meet him or pick him up. She's cut all that mess out. Now she's got standards for herself as well as for the person she's dating. She's saying, this is going to be this way, or else I got to go find somebody else. This person either don't have the ability or this person don't have the desire to be with me the way I need to be with them. And that's what it is. Did I explain it to you?
Yes, I have a very good understanding.
Okay, Sharon, you were going to say something, Sharon.
Yeah, all I was gonna say is I'm free spirited, but that scenario you mentioned was definitely not me.
then how do you handle takers? How do you handle people that want to use your resources and your youth, your beauty, and you want to use that up and don't have nothing giving anything in return? How do you handle that as a free spirit?
Said no, it ain't gonna happen like that. If you want to ride in something, either you pay in like you would pay public transportation or whatever.
Get a Uber.
They ain't driving nothing.
Okay, all right, that's one way of looking at it. I saw somebody. I saw a lot of O's or no's or something in the chat when I was talking.
No. Somebody put no.
Anybody want to share? Because, and I know some of us have been on that. I've been on that. I've been in a relationship recently where I realized I was free spirit, went in thinking that, that, hey, look, I'm a coach on Sunday night at 9. I know relationships. I'm gonna be a better man, because since I've been on Sunday night at 9, I look at things differently now. I'm not like I used to be. I take other people's feelings and how other people, I take that very seriously. So I show up trying to be the best me I can, and I go beyond. And I've learned to fall in love so easily. Sunday night 9 has got me so open up now. I'm so open and so vulnerable now, and I've been in some recent relationships where I had to throw a flag up. I had to be like the guys on the football, throw a flag out on the plate. This ain't working. I had to say, ma'am, excuse me. I had to, excuse me, miss. We will not go any further in this relationship. And let me tell you why. Here's the reason why. So that scenario is very true. That's happening every day. And this scenario, we use examples, illustrate example scenarios. We try to get real case studies. We don't make up something or try to have something fabricated. We try to get real stories, real life, because we want to address the real issues. This Sunday Night 9 container is not about a show. It's about a community opportunity or forum where we can come together as a group of people and help grow relationships. That's what this is all about. Now, do we laugh, have fun, and entertain? Yes, we do. But at the end of the day, it's about the message, bettering your relationships, looking at where you've been and where you want to go. Because as relationship coaches, we're not going to go back and tell you when you was a kid, your daddy didn't love you, so now that's why you let men beat you up or you don't know how to take. That's not what we're all about. What we're all about is saying where you are right now in your relationship in your life, what type of relationships you want to have in the future, where do you want to go in relationships? Mm-hmm. We put together some tools and some relationship coaching, and we use the community here, Sunday Night 9, to be a part of that coaching. So you can hear what other people are going through, what other people say. How did we handle that situation? Glenn and I have come on board and we said that we'll be very vulnerable. We'll tell our truth. So you can see we don't hold anything back. So please dig in. Let us know some of your thoughts. Any more about that free spirit? Anybody else learned? What did you come out of that?
Yeah, this is Annette. I would like to say in that scenario, to me, I think it was that she just hadn't yet picked the right people for herself. She was picking, but the person that she was picking and this free spiriting the way she wanted to be was all well and good, but she just didn't have the right individual for herself. I think she just decided, I'm giving my all, like you said, but this man is not the person for me. So that was really, I think, more of the problem than anything is just her selection in partner. That's what I think. That's it.
Anybody else want to say anything?
Now, I do want to piggyback on what Annette said. She may need to extend her selection process because apparently there wasn't enough open and honest communication. That's why she keeps getting, hooked up or connecting with takers. Because, I mean, you can't talk to somebody for 30 to 120 days and think that you're going to have them all figured out. It's gonna take a little while, 6 months to a year, and you have to change up the questions that you ask them to find out the information that you need to know if you want to go to the next level with them. Because a liar can't keep it up, but for so long.
That's right. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on full manual.
I'm glad you brought that up because when Annette said her part, she is not picking the right person. That's a big part of this. And then you brought a second part in there, selection process. So these are two things that we might put the kickstand down right here for a minute and address these two things and then go to the next part of this. Because picking the right person isn't just saying it. What do you use as a yardstick to pick the person? What do you use as a measure? Is it your desires or is it the person? You kind of got a shape, thought about what the person is. How do you pick the right person? Because if Melody went through that as a free spirit and like Annette said, she was picking the wrong person. What advice would we give Melody? What would we tell her? What anybody on the line can give me some advice on how we would tell her to pick the right person? Hey, is that Andre? Hey, Andre. Congratulations, everybody. And I don't know if Andre want me to say this or not, but hell, I like celebrating people. Andre has just became Dr. What's your last name, Andre? So I can say Dr. what? Andre, your last name is, pronounce it for me, Andre. I see Thomas. Is your last name Thomas or Hinton, Andre?
It's all of the above.
Okay. So he is a doctor. So can you join me, audience, and say congratulations? Put a hand together. Congratulations for that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Woo-hoo. And I apologize for calling you out, but that's such a great accomplishment in this day and time that we can celebrate with you and celebrate your wins. And because we'll cry when you lose, but we sure want to celebrate when you win. But that's an awesome thing. Okay, so now back to the question at hand. The question at hand was, how do you pick the right person? What are the yardsticks? How do you do that?
I think that's a hard thing to do from the beginning, but I think to do it, you have to really look inside yourself and evaluate what you have been attracting or what you have been picking before and determine, is that what you want or not? And then determine what you want and sort that, look for that. When you're approached by someone that wants to be connected to you, figure out if they offer what you're looking for. And if they're not offering what you're looking for, then be honest with yourself and determine that that's just not for you. I don't know any other way. I don't know.
Okay. Anyone else want to comment on how you pick the right person? Annette talked about picking, and then she also went a little bit into the selection process too. So she dabbled into the selection process in that. Anyone want to deal with either one of these? How do you pick the right person or the selection process? Because this right here is really. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gigi.
I think that the selection process, Melody really wasn't selecting, that she was selected.
Ooh.
And that he did not give her everything up front as to what he wanted out of the relationship. And she assumed that that's what he wanted, but it wasn't what he wanted. So again, she does have to reevaluate all of her relationships and find out where she's fallen short when it comes to men picking her versus her picking them. Because did she not pick him, or did he pick her?
In this, it doesn't say. This says that her relationship, she went in as a free spirit. Whether, and free spirit means she can be picked too, or she can pick. I think she had both.
Sometimes men will pick you and they'll give you part of the prize, but not all of the prize. And then at the end of the day, they've got somebody in the wing. So they're never going to be honest with you. So maybe that was one of the issues with this particular gentleman.
Okay. Any men want to comment on that? Because I think she kind of said they never will. I was with her until she said they never will.
Well, I just say this. From my past experience, it's not about picking or choosing. It's another word that you need to consider, and that word is accepting. Because in your choices, well, let me back up a little bit. It's he who finds a mate. It's not you go and pick a mate. You don't pick it. You should be wise enough and mature enough to know what you want. So when you approach and you don't see it, then it's up to you to accept or not accept it. So I don't agree with the word picking a mate or a relation someone for a relationship. It's about accepting them.
Okay. Okay. No, I don't think no one's on this line is under 35. I think everybody on this line is at least 40 and up, I believe, tonight, from the looking across the board here. Let me ask this question, and I put in the chat. Put in the chat, is it hard for somebody our age to find somebody to actually boo up or meet somebody, or is it easy? And put hard, if it's hard, write hard. If you figure it's easy, put easy. And if you figure you don't know, let me see. What's it's hard, easy, and what's the third one? If it, I guess what it is, I guess. I mean, I understand. Here's what I'm trying to ask, and you can help me out, Glenda, with this. At our age, is it easy for us to find someone out with someone we can meet and be with? Male or female, or is it hard?
It's hard.
Put in the chat first. Put in the chat first. Let's go to chat first, and then we'll read the chat. Then we'll open it up for discussion.
All right, because I don't do the chat.
Huh?
I don't do the chat, so
I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. I'm gonna put Glenda do it for you. What you gonna say? Glenda put it in for you, sir. Is easy or hard?
Well, mine is more like a statement because I don't choose neither one.
All right, that's what I was saying. I knew there was a middle one, but I didn't know how to say it. What's the middle one? So you can talk the middle. I tell you what, we'll let you say yours after. We'll let you after she give the count. Hard or easy. Then we'll let you say yours. Then we'll talk about the count. But how many? Give us a count, Glenda. How many is? What's the most? Easy or hard? Just give me the max. Which one is the most? Chat. In the chat.
Okay, we have. Give me a second. Oh, thank you, Ava.
Oh, let me put mine in there. Let me put mine in there too. Let me put mine right quick.
Glenda, you can put in the chat neither for me.
Let me put mine.
What?
Neither.
Loser?
Neither.
Neither one.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I can see the chat now, Glenda. So one, according to this, the most say hard. So we've got more hard. We've got hard 2-1. So it's more hard. The hard percentage is for every one easy, we got 2 that says hard. So right now it says hard. Somebody our age to find someone out date relationship, have a relationship with. All right, now Mr. Kingdom, explain yours, and then we'll take it from there to the audience.
The reason I say neither is because, first of all, it depends on the individual. We tend to make things harder to find someone. We have standards that we go by. We have, as somebody said, plans and the map out situation that makes it harder. And then some people just don't get out amongst people. And when I say get out, I don't mean no clubbing, because you can meet someone in church, grocery stores, convenience store, anywhere. But you got to allow yourself to be able to be approached. So that's why I say it depends on the individual. It's not necessarily hard. If you're a people person, you get out, it's going to appear to be easy. If you don't get out as frequent, it's going to be hard. So I say it depends on the individual. It's not a factor of where it's hard or easy. You just got to make yourself available.
Okay. All right. Any more comments before Glenn and I move look forward? Go ahead,
the
Gigi.
reason I said it's hard because sometimes the area that you're in can be problematic. I like what I like who I like, but a lot of the guys here, they're looking for resources. And I'm not willing to give up resources. I'm just not really willing to do that. So they look for women that have nice cars, houses, great jobs. They're looking for their resources, not wanting to give what they have or to just come together. So that's why I say I'm mapping, because I'm dating with intention.
Okay. I think Andre said you're telling the truth. Seeking resources too, but women are seeking resources too. So you got both ones, and we call them takers on both sides. You got women takers and men takers. My ex-wife lived in Richmond, Virginia area, and she told me that a lot of men she talked to, that's what they want. So they want to know where she lived. They want her resources. She said it's not. She said it's hard. She said it's not like it used to be. So wherever you are, Gigi, it's the same. She's saying in Virginia, the same way we're in your state, the same as in Virginia. She's saying there. And somebody said, what women call it security. Okay, any women want to explain that security thing? Or do they accept that statement that women call it security?
Oh, I wouldn't want to comment on that because that's not how I roll.
Well, we want to know, how do you roll?
I mean, but just me personally, I mean, when I sit back and think about it, I've been divorced for almost 26 years now, and I've run into a whole bunch of snake in the grass, low down, dirty scoundrels. And I just realized it just may not be meant for me to date or marry again. And I just need to wait it out until the Lord sends Mr. Right, regardless of feeling lonely, feeling like, I'm detached from the world, and you go out in the open and you see everybody booed up. Sometimes you just have to wait it out, because I've had several marriage proposals, but I never made it to the altar because something wasn't right. And it wasn't about it wasn't about the jobs. It was like, I saw myself getting divorced in 2 years, and I was raised not to get a divorce. So I felt like, well, I don't want 2 divorces under my belt. So the best thing for me to do is just to wait it out, because I already knew if we had any bad air, we had any disagreements or any infidelity, you know, I had my deal breakers in place. I was going to divorce him in a matter of 2 years.
Okay.
And I'm not the easiest person to get along with because I don't deal with no nonsense and foolishness. I will cut you off real quick and will not have any second thought to it.
Okay, somebody
Well,
else was
ladies,
talking. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think Ms. Keenum, you were going to say something?
yeah, I was going to ask a question. Well, ladies,
Go
y'all
ahead.
talking about these different types of men and oh, your ideology of a man. What about that nerd that come and speak to you? That brainiac. What about that one? What do y'all do with them? Do you give them a chance or do you automatically push them to the curb? Y'all talking about good men.
Well, I can't answer that one, ladies.
I said, late.
Well, you know,
I'm staying
even the
quiet on that
nerds
one.
have flaws. Even the nerds
I
have
talk to
flaws.
him.
Go ahead, Gigi. What are you saying, Gigi?
I talk to him because my theory is nerds rule the world.
Oh, awesome.
But see, the reason I asked that question because, like I used to say when we first started this, when I first started getting on, and I used to tell Rufus as our general chat, females I call crazy a lot of times because they praise God, send me a good man. Ain't no good men out here, Lord, send me a good one. He sent it to you. He sent him. But y'all have a tendency to turn him around because he's only got 70 to 75% of what y'all looking for in a man. God is never going to send you a perfect man.
Right.
He's just like he's not going to send us a perfect woman. We have to mold them and grow with them to get another 15% out of them to make them as close to perfect as possible. But because they're lacking in that other 10 or 15%, y'all just kick them to the curb as we do. So you can't say there ain't no good men out here or they didn't have what I wanted because they got the majority. We just don't give them the opportunity to be there, some of them. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them.
I want to
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just not going to take care of a man. I mean, there are some things that I need him to bring to the table.
Right.
And I'm just not going to take care of them. And if they're not coming up front with what I want, then no. I'm not saying kick me to the curb, but I'm just not going to go on with that.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And the statement I made wasn't pertaining to you physically taking care of a person, whether it's mentally or physically or financially. Okay? It wasn't about that. It's just the fact that a lot of females have such a high expectations of certain men till God is not going to just send you somebody with all those expectations because everything he does for you, for every action there's a reaction. Okay, so you got to do something to get the reward of the blessings from God. You got to do your part. Let me put it that way. You got to do your part. So he's going to send you what you need. He's going to send you what you want. But are you willing to accept it? That's all I was saying. It's not that I'm saying that you're supposed to just accept whatever and take care or whatever, because it don't work like that. Because when you become a union, and a union is one, y'all take care of each other. It's not no one-sided deal. If it's gonna be a one-sided deal, then that's a red flag for you to step away. You understand?
Andre put something.
I understand.
Okay.
What you're saying.
Andre put something in the chat, and I think Andre using that doctor diploma. What he put in the chat, that one I read it. I ain't understand it. So Andre, you're gonna have to you got to make this one to the bachelor's level.
What I was saying was, like, I think the person was saying they wasn't going to take care of a man. I said, but what if you meet the guy and he's genuinely a good person, but he's just in a bad context when you meet him?
Well, explain the word context so you, because I think we got to give us more than the word context.
Well, I didn't want to say situation because that'll make him seem like he was in a relationship. But like, let's just say he just lost his job, but he's really a good person. He's really looking for a job, and you meet him when he broke.
I can answer
That's
that
different.
for you. I can still answer that for you.
All right,
That's
you
called
answered, then
common
Gigi
sense.
after you. Go ahead. You did
That's
Gigi.
called common sense. God gives you common sense. You know what I mean? When you come in a situation such as that, you can tell when a person is genuine or if somebody's trying to use you. You know, because you can lose your job, but then you can be a hustler where you out there trying to get a job and do what you got to do to get back on your feet. Whereas you can lose your job and just say, F it, and just not try. You understand? It's all depend on your heart to see them trying. Because I be in situations all the time where if I see you trying and want to have, I go above and beyond and I'm going to help you. So if you come into a relationship with that, you know, there's nothing wrong with you reaching out to try to help someone. But now you also feel in your heart, you know when you're being used. But regardless of how good that person is, how good the business, or whatever, if you feel you've been used, then you need to approach it and find out if it's really being used. And you don't go and just give. That's on you then. You're the one that they call a fool.
All right, let Gigi take the floor because Gigi had a reply to that too, and I want to hear what she was going to say. Go ahead, Gigi.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but what I've had experience with in the past 6 months with, I can truly say that I'm not going to take care of a man, because the majority of them are working, but they're going from house to house trying to find a woman that has resources available, and one woman puts them out, and so they're looking for somewhere else to go. So that's why I say I'm not going to take care of one. No. But now, no, I'm not going to do that. My daddy said, don't give me money.
All right, let's
But that's not no good advice though. That's not good advice. That's not, because that's too broad of a statement. Don't give me money. Because if you're in a union, in a relationship, that means you're going to be a taker constantly. Because
Well,
you just said you're not
we
going to
haven't
give me
even
money.
started the relationship, so no.
Well, when you started, you want to be committed. You just give state my opinion, okay? So don't take it to the heart.
Okay.
My opinion is,
I'm
okay,
not. Trust me, Mr. Kingdom.
it's always back in the day, because I'm from the old school.
And I'm
asked
a
you how to
great
date.
debater, so
Well,
it's
we
okay.
good. I'm from the
We're
old
good.
school. When you meet someone as a man, I ask you out. So naturally, I'm going to take care of the bill. You understand? But then on the flip side, being who you are, if I'm always taking care of the bill when we first start, every now and then, you ain't got to take care of the bill, but it's good to be asked. You see what I'm saying? You can say, hey, look, you mind if I get it this time? Or I pay for it this time. Okay, now it's up to me to accept you paying for it or reject you paying for it and continue to pay for it. But the option is out there. Now, the statement you said, your dad said never give man the money. How you going to pay for the bill or whatever is done to help him out? Not saying he needs help if you ain't going to never give him money.
Hey guys,
It's
we got to
different
still.
if you're in a relationship.
Okay, guys, we got to start reeling this one in. Glenda, I want to ask a chat question. While I'm asking the chat question, Glenda, I want you to prepare to give us a quick conclusion and summary, and then you can close us out because we're coming up to that hour. But here's a question I want to put in chat. Listen to you guys talk tonight, and I'm just going to ask a question, and I'll add that on to next week, the answer. Okay, in the chat, how many of us would go use online dating at our age? How many of us will use online dating? And yeah, I want you to put yes or no in the chat. Yes or no. And I'm going to talk about that next week. How many of us at our age would use online dating to find a mate or pleasure or whatever? I'm going to put and we'll give the answers next week. Okay. The answer is either yes or no. Would you use online dating? Because I'm doing like a quick survey right now at our age. Do we consider online dating as a viable source for mates or relationships or what? Because we talked about selection a little bit tonight, and I want to see, is that a viable place for us to find connection? And we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We're not going to discuss it. We're not going to discuss that tonight, but I just want to get that answer, and I'll give you the feedback next week on that. Okay, right now, Glenda, can you go ahead and take us out? Give a quick summary, then take us out. You can close us out because this has been an interesting time, and we could go into a part 3, but I think a part 3 would be more of the same. I don't think we'll get any more new information. I think what we'll do is we'll have more conversation between each other. And I love the fact that on Mondays, I normally get a few chats, a few texts about what we talked about on Sunday night at 9. And I think this is going to be one of those kind of days that we'll do it in chat or at home. But let's give us a quick summary or conclusion, and then close us out, Glenda, with closing. Well, first, but let me see, before we go into that closeout, anybody have anything they want to quickly share or comment on, or anybody want to give a comment before we close this out? Okay, go ahead, Glenda.
All right, tonight we explored the topic, love on the fly, navigating relationships without a plan. Are we intentional or just winging it? And uncovered how the difference between drifting and directing can transform our relationships. We discussed that while spontaneity can add excitement, relationships thrive when guided by clarity, communication, and shared values. We recognize that intentionality is not about control, it's about clarity and direction. Winging it may feel freeing, but without a vision, it often leads to unmet needs and heartache. Self-awareness is the foundation of intentional love. Knowing your values, non-negotiables, and goals help you choose relationships that honor you. Balance is possible. You can enjoy spontaneity while still holding a purposeful vision for the love you want and deserve. Ultimately, we affirm that women deserve relationships that are not only exciting, but always deeply fulfilling and aligned with their worth. I thank you all for showing up tonight for Reset to Healthier Relationships Live Open Discussion, Sunday night at 9. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And thanks for your honesty. I really appreciate how honest you were in this conversation, as well as the conversation before. See you next week with another great one.